All right, 5 trading lessons coaching 7-figure traders. How do you become a great trader? So you want to become a great trader if you're sitting there saying, if I could just learn from others who are great. You're sitting there, I'm sure, as I remember those days, for some of you thinking, am I doing the right thing as a trader? And you're not sure and you're doubting yourself often. If I just knew how other great traders did it, then that would be great for me, is what you're thinking at home. And if you don't have access to how the great traders, the successful traders are doing it, then you're definitely doing yourself a disservice. And there's a gap between what you know now and what you need to know. And so we're going to try and fill in some of that. We're going to talk about the great traders that I work with inside and outside of the firm. I have the privilege of working with 7-figure traders outside of the firm as well. And they're an exclusive bunch. And we've developed consistently profitable traders and 7-figure traders at SMB Capital, our prop trading firm. So I want to talk about how I work with an international 7-figure trader. But before I do that, I need to introduce a concept that really can take your trading to a higher level. It's an idea to improve your trading and that of the entire trading community. I'm not going to stop talking about this idea until I see more people doing it online, like the trader that I work with. And so I posed this question: what if at the end of each trading session, you posted a trading report card and not just your trading P&L? And this became a prominent best practice for the online trading community. The report card would focus on one monthly goal, perhaps sizing, perhaps consistency, perhaps expanding your playbook, perhaps limiting losses. The report card would be your daily progress report on that one goal. You'd give yourself a grade: A+, A minus, B, F minus. I know some great traders who have given themselves an F minus on their days that I work with. I'm presently working with one of the traders that I'll talk about today, who is a great trader and gave himself an F minus recently. He's a bit hard on himself. So you give yourself a grade for the trading session on that one goal. So you get one goal, and here's how it works. You pick one goal, you work intensively on this one goal. You develop solutions to achieve this one goal, and you complete a report card at the end of each trading session on the progress for that one goal. So, for instance, a very common report card citation is, I should have made more money in that particular trade. All right, great. Well, what does that mean? I should have made more money in that trade. That's great that you took the time to actually note that you should have made more money in a trade. But the feedback that I often give to traders internally here, 7-figure traders, consistently profitable traders, is, well, specifically, where and how could you have made more? Don't just say, I could have made more. Don't just sort of sit there after the trading session and say to yourself, man, I should have made more on that opportunity. If I only had traded that bigger. That's not how you get better. And that's why intensively is underlined in the slide. And that's why solutions are underlined in this slide. Your solutions, you have to find solutions. You have to work on them intensively. And so in an example of I want to make more money, where and how, based on what you've traded on that intraday, or if you're a longer term trader, the time period that makes the most sense. And so, my challenge to the trading community remains. You see all these people posting their P&L online and puffing out their chest and talking about percentages of trading. How many people are out there putting their report card in detail online about what they're doing to improve the solutions they've come up with so they become a better traders? The guys that I see doing that are going to be the guys that are going to make the most progress. And the guys that do that, my thesis is in the end, they're going to be the star traders. So one of the guys I work with, each day we share with each other a report card. International trader doesn't trade a market that has a lot of opportunity. So for those of you who are trading US markets in options or in equities or in futures or as automated traders, and you're saying to yourself, there's not enough opportunity for myself to make money. Well, this is a trader who trades a market that has very little movement and is a seven-figure trader and is getting better and is gonna, at the rate that he's going, gonna be a mid seven-figure trader. He's not sitting around carping about there's not enough movement or there's not enough opportunity. He's trading a small market and finding out how he can make money. And lots of people are saying during this time period, what? What are people mostly saying in the marketplace? What are the talking heads saying on the cable news networks, which we don't watch on our trading desk because it doesn't help us make money? And what are the talking heads saying on the broadcast radio news sessions that we don't listen to because it doesn't help us make money? And what are people carping about in the newspapers, the business news sections, which we don't read because it doesn't help us make money? They're talking about August is slow and there's not a lot of opportunity in August. What exactly are they watching? What market are they watching? The pot stocks have been all the opportunity that you could ever want in an entire quarter of trading that's happened in August. Even S&P's not dull. Even Qs aren't dull. Even IWM's not dull. And, so there's lots of stuff out there in the mythology of trading parlance that needs to be debunked. And certainly one of them is we're having a terrific month in August. We've done, at the beginning of the year, we set a goal internally as a desk to do 30% better than last year. We had a great year last year as a desk. We are right on pace to hit those numbers. This is a median month in this quote unquote slow August. There's not a top heavy trader who's bringing us up. We are doing very nicely in this August. And, so in learning from one of these traders, one of these traders that we work with our daily report card, and don't make excuses, find your own opportunity. And in reading his daily report cards at times, I like to find what trading strategies they trade best. So this trader knows exactly what his bread and butter is. But then he also, and this is something that you see amongst the great traders, and this is a takeaway I hope for you, but he also knows when he trades at his best and what he needs to do to come to market so he performs at his best. And one of the things that you'll notice from his report card is focus and energy was very good. Focus and energy was very good. Top traders don't just have strategies with edge, but they put themselves in a position to come in to trading days with high focus and high energy. And so thinking about taking care of yourself, getting to the gym, getting the right amount of sleep, eating well, are doing your mindfulness training. Those are very important for top traders. Focus and energy is very good. And when these top traders recognize that their focus and energy is low, they're not going to trade as much. They're going to be more careful. They're going to double down on the routine that gets them into that state where their focus and their energy is very, very high. Sometimes people ask me, what are some of the really important tells to having a great day as a trader? And one of the most undervalued attributes is focus. What makes you focus at a very high level? Fun and energized. Good preparation once again. This is from a next day. Good preparation once again, and I felt energized. are you, and particularly now in the summer, are you getting away, having a family vacation that gets you energized? Are you getting your daily routine in place that allows you to make more money? Do you have a daily routine? Do you know all the things you need to do to be at your best as a trader? Huge takeaway from that is, well, develop one. Don't just make it all about trading your setups, but also getting in the best trading mindset. And so, one of the things that I noticed from this particular trader is that he's always getting better. One of the trades, not his best trade, but one of the trades he really likes are breakout trades. And one of the things that we've worked on together is using volume to confirm a breakout. Doesn't trade a volatile market, doesn't trade a market with a lot of opportunity, was still doing really, really well, absent a variable that could really make a difference in his trading. And one of the things that I suggested that he do with his breakout trades is to trade ones with increasing volume into the breakouts with more size, and cut ones that didn't. I see from my desk traders who underperform not have enough variables in their setups, like elite traders do. Elite traders talk very specifically about what they want to see. Underperforming traders, new traders that are failing, developing traders that are failing, experienced traders that are getting ready to fail, they don't have enough variables with their trades. I look at a daily chart, it breaks out, I'm going to get long, not enough variables. I look at a daily chart, I want to get long, it has a news catalyst, I'm not looking at volume, I'm not looking at RVol, I'm not looking at ATR, not enough. The best traders have more variables. I notice elite traders measure and tag their trades, and this trader actually, he stands out to me because I made a suggestion about how he can measure his trades. So he understands minute by minute, day by day, month by month, where his money's coming from. And I made a slight suggestion about how he can measure and tag his trades and keep these trader stats at a better level for himself. And the SOB in a day and a half comes back with the work done at a higher level than I had expected, in more thoroughness than I had expected. The elite traders, you don't ask to do something. They do it better, they do it quicker, they do it at a more conscientious level than the average professional trader. And so, again, one of the things in terms of edge that we worked on with this trader is adding RVol. I want to trade stocks with elevated RVol into breakout trades. And if I don't see that elevated RVol, I'm not going to take that trade, and I'm going to take it with less size, and or I'm going to take it with less size. And then volume. RVol and volume are different. And then volume into the breakout. I'm going to put on more size when I'm getting that volume into the breakout. I'm going to cut when I'm not seeing the volume into the breakout. But it's these variables of the trades that are really helping him. So one of the tweets I wrote about recently that really resonated with the trading community was, and this is something that I work on with this particular trader, and this is a formula that I'm recognizing and noticing the best traders follow. Trade thesis, I think the pot stocks are overbought. Trade thesis. Plus, set up in your playbook, I think the pot stocks are overbought. I'm looking for a backside trade. I see the backside trade. Okay, good. Plus confirmation on the tape, plus fighting for price, that equals one good trade. So I think the pot stocks are going to go down. I'm looking for a backside trade in the pot names. I'm looking for a weakness on the tape. I'm getting in at a really good price. All of that is needed to put on one good trade. Underperforming traders, failing traders, guys who are going to fail, they just say, hey, the pot stocks are overdone, I'm going to get short. Or the pot stocks are going to go higher, I'm going to buy the first pull-in. They're not putting together this professional framework to make really good trades. All right. resources. Go to SMB Capital YouTube and take a look at the daily report card with a 7-figure trader. That's the title of a video that can really help you with the daily report card. The daily report card with a 7-figure trader. Go to SMB Capital, our YouTube channel. And then Trader Feed with Dr. Brett Steenbarger. The daily report card, the genesis of this is Dr. Steenbarger suggesting our top traders send this to him and to me for us to provide feedback to them to help them get to the next level. And it's gone from there. All right, that's trader number 1, some of the lessons. As we're going along, don't be shy, ask questions, we'll provide some answers. All right, so I want to talk about
actually, you do have one comment, which is Albie saying this is brilliant, will be used by traders for a very long time. 4 parts equals 1 good trade. That was a reference to that previous slide. Bob is asking,
well, Albie is obviously clearly handsome and brilliant based upon what he is writing in there as well. Probably, you know, and a really great human being as well.
That's obvious. And then from Bob, he's asking, Mike, have you ever seen a trader that wanted to trade options and you noticed he may be a better futures trader and you convinced him to switch and he was successful?
Yes, 100%. So I will tell you a story about our latest green shirt trader on our desk. So on our desk, if you make $1 million net in profits, you get a green shirt. On our desk, if you make $2 million in net profits, you get a black shirt. But it's a really big deal to get a green shirt on our desk, and guys strive for that. And one of our guys last year, I don't remember the exact numbers, but he made like $923,000 of net P&L and didn't get his green shirt. And if you walk the halls of our firm, you'll actually see a green shirt that is hung as a symbolic goal for guys to achieve. And, you know, so he's just short. And I felt so bad for him because he's such a hard worker and has made such good progress. And recently he hit me up on GChat and said, this year I made it. You know, I made it. And how he made it is exactly the answer to your question. He finally is going to get his green shirt. And generally we save sending out a green shirt for the end of the year. And so I pinged some of the partners and said, hey, let's send this trader a green shirt. And we're sort of going off script a little bit here, and we're going to send him his green shirt that he finally has deserved. And, you know, what's interesting is when I told him he was going to get his green shirt, I told him, hey, I really want you to actually get a black shirt this year as well. Keep pushing. And, you know, son of a gun, a couple weeks after finally pinging me that he got his green shirt, he made a huge trade where he made about 30% of what he has made this year extra. And he's got a little bit of a chance now to maybe get a black shirt. So we might have to recall that green shirt and send him the black shirt. So this trader that I'm thinking of specifically, he started as a discretionary trader. And he learned from one of our better traders internally who was a scalper, a hyper scalper. And this trader definitely learned how to be a discretionary trader and held his own as a discretionary trader, but wasn't really making a ton of money. And one of the things that we recognized is he had this terrific skill set in automated trading. I should say more specifically using technology to help him make more money as a trader. And so on our desk, there are different ways that you can make money using technology. One, you can create your own custom filters and be presented with alerts for your favorite setups so that you make more money. Secondly, you can create what are called scripts. And so you can create scripts with our technology internally where you say, if a stock is up 5% on the day and its RVOL is 5 and it's above its opening range and it's past 1030, get me long. And with discretion, you will trade out of the position. The third way that you can use technology is by building automated strategies. Get me long a stock that's up 5% with an RVOL of 5 past 1030, that's above its opening range, and exit if the stock breaks the trend line on the 1-minute chart, gets below VWAP, or hits my target price. And so this trader was, kind of floundering as a profitable discretionary trader, but he really got his hands dirty with the technology that we offer at our firm. And this is a huge differentiator that we have at our firm from other firms. Our technology is in-house. It is completely proprietary. It will add 30% to your P&L if you are a trader with Edge. You can automate your trades. This is highly unusual for a discretionary prop firm to have all these bells and whistles, to have this ability to make more just with technology. And what it does is when guys come into the firm, they have different career paths. Yes, you can make money as a 7-figure discretionary trader solely. But yes, you can also make money as a hybrid trader, somebody who's a discretionary trader and uses technology. And yes, you can make money as an automated trader solely. And this trader really got his hands dirty with technology, started to build some alerts for his best setups and started taking them more often, and started building some models with a senior trader at the desk who had some really good ideas, and started to build scripts so that he could get into some positions that he couldn't just by pushing the buttons, just with his own discretions. And because of that, he was not one of those guys who didn't make it. He is a guy who is going to get a green shirt, who's going to be able to wear a green shirt, who has a chance to earn a black shirt, who's going to be a professional trader for the rest of his life, who is going to have enough money not to worry about money for his family and himself, and going to be able to buy the apartment he wants or the house he wants and have a vacation home and do what he loves and coach junior guys as they come up. He's going to get to live that life. And I say that because getting the product right, getting the time frame right, getting the type of trader you're going to be right can make all the difference.
Mike, got a couple comments that have come in and questions. Nanomi Trader asks, Bella, do you rate yourself prior to starting the trading day so then you can determine how well you might perform in executing on that day?
So one of the things you want to do is take your temperature before the open. You want to sit down before the open and ask yourself what kind of a mood you're in. How high is your energy level? How are you feeling? And are you anxious? Are you calm? Are you too excited? It's very common on Mondays for guys to be overexcited. It's common for trading results not to be that great on a Monday until people recognize it. Are you tired? Maybe you didn't sleep that well. And so you want to ask that question and take note of that, and then see how you trade when you're in that state. after you are measuring how you trade in these states, it's going to give you a lot of information about how you can make adjustments after you recognize you're in that state.
Would you tend to trade, this is me asking it, Bella, would you tend to trade smaller in those circumstances where you're not at your optimal state?
You very well could.
It's interesting. Okay, we've got another question from Ren Fu Ling, who is asking, thank you for your help, very appreciated regarding, so his question is regarding changing fundamentals. On a changing fundamentals trade, how do we improve the quote fundamentals part of the analysis in the trade setup?
So you got to learn it from somebody who knows it. I work with a really great trader outside of the firm who's very strong in using fundamentals to create price targets. And he learned it from a really great trader who saw how news moved certain stocks. We teach it here internally in SMB DNA, one of our courses, and SMB Foundation. We teach it to all of our guys here. We talk about finding news that's unusual and unexpected that will cause stocks to move directionally on a short-term basis. It has the effect of being like a large cruise ship. And so when news hits, big money's got to either pour into the cruise ship heading up or pour into the cruise ship, which is turning around, going down. A good example of that today would be in some of the retail names. So if you take a look at Dick's on the open and Under Armour on the open, we had changing fundamentals in Under Armour when they lost the ability to contract with Dick's, and that caused a large gap down in that name. The fundamentals were changed. They were different. They were unexpected. They were unusual. They were unusually worse than expected. So we teach that to our guys, and that's just like anything else. You got to apply it in real time. You got to take note of what's significant. You got to get a feel for developing the skills for that type of trade. You got to figure out, most importantly, if this is the type of trade that's best for you.
Okay, we've got another question from Basil. Do you use your own algorithms to scan for securities? Do you also use them to make high-frequency trades or scalping?
Yeah, we don't do high-frequency trading. We do use algorithms to help us prepare for the open. We have something called the SMB scanner. It scans a universe of U.S. stocks to find what we call the stocks in play. We define stocks in play by price and by volume and by news. And our algorithms are searching the markets to find those stocks. And then we have something called the SMB radar, which is a series of algorithms that's scanning the universe of stocks, looking for the stocks that are most in play based upon the criteria that we have set. I wrote about this in One Good Trade. You're only as good as the stocks you trade. If you're in the wrong stocks, you're not going to make money. One of our junior traders sent me his daily report card last night and shared it with his senior trader, who's a black shirt trader, an incredible trader. And he was in a lot of the market names yesterday and was lamenting that he should have been in the pot names. Yesterday, we had a huge day on the desk catching the pull-in for the pot names. And his senior trader and myself said to him, look, you're in the wrong names. Of course you had a bad day. Sit with your senior trader before the open and talk to him about the trades that you're looking to trade so that you make sure you're in the right stocks. Because if you're not, you're just going to sit there and underperform for the whole day.
Thank you, Mike. We cleared the questions. We're good?
My favorite prop trader at another U.S. prop firm. So I'm never going to reveal who this is out of respect for his privacy. And one of the setups that he trades particularly well is a counter trend trade. fades certain setups. The takeaway from him, I love working with the trader. He inspires me to be a better coach and really work hard in providing analysis for his trading to get better. The thoroughness of his variables are different than the average professional trader. They're different than even the above average trader. The thoroughness is different. He also back tests his variables. He has very strict rules as well for trading his favorite trades. He religiously hits his stops. When his stops get hit, he hits out religiously, no questions asked. He has real edge in his trading. And so lots of times traders sit there and they're like, why am I not trading better? Can I do it? Is it me? Is it my psychology? We don't talk about that we don't talk about psychology until later down the road in your trading career. If you're trading setups that don't have edge and you're despondent, well, I'm comforted by that. If you're really upset when you're trading setups that don't have edge to be losing money, again, I'm comforted by that. That actually means that you're sane. If you were happy about that, I would consider you to be delusional. I would consider you to be insane. You should be upset when you're doing poorly. But lots of poor trading psychology emanates from setups that don't have edge. And that thoroughness, that conscientiousness, the detail, the rules, the systematic approach to how he trades is advanced. In fact, when this one trader and I talk about strengths and weaknesses that he has, it really pushes me, even after having traded 20 years, to think about variables for my trading. And so I'm sitting here working with him, helping him get better, and he's pushing me to be more thorough in the way I think about my variables, which I think is pretty extensive. Recently, he hit the bottom in some of his trades and was a little bit frustrated. So he put on a very specific trade that he makes and put it on with size, and then he ended up hitting the bottom and taking some pretty big losses. And he was a little discouraged, but because he's so thorough and because there's so many excellent variables to his trades, we were very easily able to go through the differences in the trades he had gotten stopped out in, the trades that he had hit the bottom in, and make those very clear distinctions between why the stocks he just got stopped in were really not his strength, were really different from what he does well, because he had actually done the work and was clear about the variables that go into his best trades. Again, his conscientiousness is unparalleled. So if you're sitting there thinking there's not going to be rigorous back testing that goes into your options trading, there's going to be a variable here and a variable there, and then you're going to get it. Well, this trader would say otherwise. I recently gave him an idea to help measure his trading. And these guys are different. I give him an idea to measure his trading, and he doesn't just think about it or punt it for a couple of weeks. He goes back and he gets his entire firm to create tools for all the traders so that they can measure their trading more succinctly and the whole firm can improve. And he does it in lightning speed, and he does it in more detail and more thoroughness with more conscientiousness than you would ever expect, even from a guy who you expect a lot from. And so a large lesson that you want to take away from a guy like this is, are you really ready to make it? Are you really ready to compete? Are you really ready to do the work that this guy does? Are you ready to be that thorough? What's fascinating to me about this trader is it's not just about money for this particular person. When you get good and you get to become a 7-figure trader, you ask yourself the question, what is trading success to you? What is trading success to you? Is it about making the most money? It's about being number one in the trading firm. It's about making $10 million. Is it about making $5 million? And this trader's so good that's not his goal. He has different goals. And he, at that point, as a 7-figure trader, can make it about being the best trader that he wants to be and live the life that he wants to live the lifestyle that he wants to live. He can make that choice at that point. And he asks himself those questions. And he thinks about sustainability and happiness overall to improve his quality of life. I find that to be highly impressive. So I recently put out a tweet, and it relates to the work that I do with this trader. Trade what you see, take your profits, trade your playbook, double down on your best trading routine. Don't get locked into a bias. Things that help traders P&L on our prop desk, and in this case, outside. All right, great. I appreciate that, Albie. And for those of you who want to attend our next webinar that we're running, you can see right down here on the bottom, smbu.com/free-webinar. If you're interested in 3 setups that we take daily from the trade desk, you can go to that URL and sign up for our next free webinar. So this webinar is going to be a lot about process and a lot about observation. That webinar is going to be about process and very specific trade setups that we're taking on our desk. So check it out if you're interested. All right, resources. Go to SMB Capital YouTube and watch the video, How to Become a Successful Trader. Resources, traderview.com. That is a service that can help you to measure your trading statistics. All right, this is Swang. And this is Swang holding up his black shirt. You get a black shirt for making $2 million net in a trading year. Swang started with us out of college, moved to New York City, probably was wondering what his life was going to become, had extended periods of time when he wasn't making a ton of money, but was consistent, had extended periods of time where he wondered, like perhaps some of you guys, whether or not he was going to become good enough to do this for a living over a long period of time. And I think that's something that people really go through. Am I good enough? Can I do this? Am I going about this the right way? And in 2016, when he first started trading, he was very consistent, and an average month with him would be, $4,000 to $8,000 a month. He was consistent. He was making some money, not enough to necessarily pay the bills in New York. With a little bit of help from the firm, but pretty solid for a new guy. And then he got a little bit better, and he was making his money as a scalper. And he continued doing that. And, some years later, those $4,000 to $8,000 months became 6-figure months. And, I used to actually give this presentation about him. And the presentation started with, he used to be a $4,000 to $8,000 a month trader. And now look what he's become, a 6-figure trader. And that's where I would stop the presentation, and everyone would be so impressed because it is inspirational. It is so impressive. Here's a young man who's, by the way, one of the politest, most respectful people you could ever work with. And if everybody came into the firm like him, I'm not sure I'd even have to actually show up at work any day. We wouldn't have to have any meetings. It would be 100% happiness to work with all people like him, both in his loyalty, his respectfulness, his ability, his just talent. It's joyful. It's joyful to work with him. The takeaway from somebody like him is find your edge. Find your niche with an edge. Trade a niche with edge that works for you. Prove it with trading stats live. Trade a niche that highlights your talents. Consistently with process, push yourself to trade bigger. If you have an edge in anything, that's a huge deal. Don't let somebody tell you the $1,000 a month you're making in a particular setup is not a big deal. It is. We can build from that. All right, questions?
Bob is asking, does he use hotkeys, Swang?
Yes, he uses. Yes, he does. He uses hotkeys. He's very fast on the keys. He processes information at a very high level, very quickly, and so he gravitates towards trading that pays him for those skills.
John asks, hi, Mike. I started trading very recently in April without any prior experience. I do find it interesting, and I'm getting some small, interesting returns. I'd like to enroll in one of your programs. What program would be of interest to learn more? I'd say from scratch, he's saying, at a kind of fast pace.
Yep. So I'd go check out SMB DNA. Go to this webinar, smbu.com/free-webinar. You can see it at the bottom of these pages. Go to that free webinar. Check out some of the strategies that we run. See if you like them. See if they're for you. We have had people take this SME DNA who are futures traders, options traders, U.S. equities traders, international equities traders. It is the foundation for which you need to be a good trader, no matter what product, no matter what time frame. And it also has a benefit of rolling out really important skills that you need for a trader and trade setups that are worth your attention when you're building as a trader. So SMB DNA is a great program for you, and you get a little bit of flavor about SMB DNA in that free webinar, plus 3 really great setups that we use every day. All right, I want to talk about you, Seth. So, Seth, for those of you who don't know, I'm not sure anybody doesn't know. We have nicknamed the Chief around here, and there's no one that I respect more in the trading world and business than Seth, and it's specifically because of his optimism. And Seth, I don't know if you've told the community this story, but one of my favorite books is Learned Optimism by Martin Seligman.
Yep.
And
he was my professor at Penn.
Yeah, he's the grandfather of positive psychology. Mm-hmm. And you will find there's a ton of science behind how you can shape your results by how you think. And look, obviously, if you're sitting there and you're thinking happy thoughts and you're trading a crappy trading strategy, it's not going to help. But if you're also sitting there saying, I can't make money in the marketplace, that's not particularly helpful. You want to say, there are people like me who have figured this out. There are people that do this at a very high level that don't work at Goldman Sachs. I remember that Mike Bellafiore from SMB Capital, who started his own firm and built up his prop firm. And there are guys there that you wouldn't necessarily think are extraordinary if you passed them on the street, but really consistently profit in all different types of markets and all different types of ways. And let me reach out to people who can open up doors so that I have the best chance possible. And I know you actually got a chance to take, I guess you got a chance to take one of his courses.
I did. He was my introduction to psychology professor probably in 1980, before most of you were born. He's an amazing guy, by the way.
Seth was the CEO of a publicly traded insurance company and didn't like it. Couldn't stand dealing with all the egos, and company sold, and he transitioned into trading. He took SMB Foundation many, many years ago, as he mentioned, and took it. And at the end of it, I remember him saying, "I get your culture. I totally get it. Hey, do you guys teach options? And oh, by the way, I know options and I can teach options. What do you think about expanding SMB equities education and offering some options education?" And we got to know him a little bit better and had some talks back and forth, and loved the fact that he fit into our culture, which is probably the most important thing that I do each day. Our guys fitting into our culture, because, you know, if there's one thing that I want to see from a trader, it's guys who are willing to get better and do the work to get better. Guys who are, that's what I want to see walking around here. And, you know, SMB is a special place. And Dr. Steenbarger says this to me. Sometimes we get in the weeds and challenges come up and traders do things that are disappointing. And, you know, Dr. Steenbarger said this to me recently when one of our traders did something disappointing, and I was sort of covering for that trader, and Dr. Steenbarger was like, he doesn't belong. And Dr. Steenbarger said, SMB is a special place. You guys have created a special culture here. This is a remarkable place. The teaching and the care that you guys give to helping these guys grow is unique. It's special. And people who do not buy into it or do not appreciate it should not have the ability to walk through these doors. And, you know, Seth was somebody who got what we were doing. And the Options Tribe was born many years ago and has grown nicely because of Seth's persistence, hard work, and reaching out. One of the things I love that Seth does is he reaches out to other people to come and present and share what they're learning from markets, like me. You know, for me, when
I was just saying, that's what makes it so fun, learning from others.
Yeah, and look, I am in contact with people who run firms and share ideas, and I love working with these seven-figure guys because they make me better in lots of different ways. And the lesson from Seth, is you can transition midlife to be a pro trader, because he did it. Edge plus mentoring, plus niche that highlights your talents, plus strategy that fits the reality of your life equals your best chance to succeed. And I think sometimes people want to skip steps. Maybe they don't want to take the training that's actually we all have taken, or maybe they don't want to put in the time that we all have before we become successful, or they don't want to go through the mentoring that we all take. I could just tell you personally, I have a time management coach. We have Dr. Steenbarger, who oversees all the coaching and mentoring we do here. I have a nutritionist. I have a personal trainer. I'm actually going to the next Tony Robbins session. One of the traders that I work with impressed upon me that, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of yelling and screaming that I'm not going to like, and a lot of high energy that I'm not going to like, but that there's some really good best practices that he teaches that I will appreciate. And so we believe in, from top to bottom. I have a lot of coaches, and I have a lot of people who help me because I want to get better, and I'm going to continue to get better. Our guys here are trying to get better, and they're going to create networks of guys to reach out to talk trading with so they can get better. That's one of the things our big guys are doing recently, is they're creating networks to talk to guys inside and outside of the firm to make better decisions. And we had a guest from India today in our offices. And he came to visit you, Seth, and I stopped in and chatted with him a little bit. I think you took him to lunch.
I did.
And I thought he asked a pretty interesting question, which is, why do some traders find edge? How do you train traders to find edge? What's the singular characteristic that you're seeing amongst the best traders? The singular characteristics I'm seeing amongst the best traders is the ability to process information. An undervalued attribute necessary to be a great trader is the ability to process information at a very high level. And an inability to process information at a high level can be a reason why traders are underperforming. Without it, I'm not seeing traders have a ton of success. How do you train traders to find edge? We expose them to lots of different setups with edge that guys use on our desk. And then we say, go try and make those setups your own. Experiment with them. Keep the ones you like, but make them your own. And then when they start to show some edge, we work with them. We work on increasing their size. We get them to add some variables to the trades to make them more effective. They work on them so they master those setups. How do you find some traders who find edge? Why do some traders find edge? And again, expose yourself to setups that have edge. You got to do that. You can't trade setups that don't have edge. And then you got to try them. Trading is not about, let me go find one person, let me copy their edge, let me trade, and I will make a lot of money. That's not the way it works. It is, you should be prepared to go expose yourself to lots of different types of edge and experiment with lots of different types of trades. As Seth said, paper trade. When you have some success, trade them with a small amount of capital. But you're going to have to try different types of setups. You should not expect to just go find one. That's not the way it's done. That's not what we recognize here. That's not what we see here. And some of them are going to be good for you and some of them aren't. Keep the ones that are good for you. Keep the ones that are helping your natural talents be expressed in marketplaces. Excuse me. And so, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. We got to keep learning and markets keep changing. We'll keep learning. All right. So I put this together in thinking with our guest today, Seth. And I put this together for a presentation I did a while ago. Fun experiment. I was doing a presentation and said to myself, hey, let me come up with this formula for the 7-figure trader. And it relates to Pran's question that he asked of us today in our meeting. How do you become a good trader? How do these guys become good? And you're sitting there and you're trying to wonder why. Well, here's the formula that I'm recognizing amongst the best traders. Have a growth mindset, plus passion, plus a strong trading foundation, plus experiment with different types of trading edge, plus find your niche, plus develop that trading edge, plus talent, plus bionic, use technology, plus patience, Our guys make significant money in year 3. Not until year 3. The real big money, we don't see until year 3. We don't expect guys to make money in the first 12 months. We pay for all that. We pay for everything. We're losing money on guys in the first year, and we're playing for year 3. So if we're playing for year 3, what are you playing for? Plus perseverance, that equals a 7-figure trader. All right, so resources, theoptionstribe.com. You're here. Learned Optimism by Martin Seligman. And Option Tribe is best for those professionals looking to supplement income. Maybe you're retired but want to stay active, transitioning professionals who love to trade, but you can't stare at screens for 10 hours a day. Analytical thinkers, the unswangs, the counter swangs. All right, questions I can answer, Seth.
Yes, Mike, a couple came in. Fod is asking, I'm a scalper too, but I'm not profitable. My accuracy is about 65% this month, but I got wiped out of those gains by letting some losses run. I think that's more of a comment. Just wanted to share that with you.
Okay, thank you.
We've got another comment from Gurpreet. Hey, Mike, great lesson. How long do you recommend a trader study his or her market before going live?
Really good question. So the way that we do it here at SMB is we roll out 1 trade per week during the second part of our training program. You trade that trade on a demo for a week. You study it. You create playbook trades. The second book is the playbook. I teach how to do playbook trades in there. And at the end of that week, you get a feel for whether or not you want to continue working on it, whether it fits your personality set and your talents, or whether or not you want to discard it. And so you'll get a feel for that. You will then in the next week go on to another trade. And then that next week you'll trade the trade you learned the week before and the next trade. And so there's this a 4-month incubation period where you're demo trading different types of setups with Edge. You're studying them, you're reviewing them, you're getting a feel for whether or not you like them, and you're measuring whether or not you actually do have success in them. And then from there, you actually create your playbook. So that's how we do it here.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about Shark. You can save those questions if that's okay, Seth.
Okay, absolutely.
So Shark's our best trader, and this is a picture of him and his team, Team Shark, after hours working on technology so that they can make more money. And Shark has an attribute that you all ought to copy, and that's a growth mindset. He's trying to get better every day. And, in fact, Shark has earned a green shirt multiple years. He's earned a black shirt. He has made more money this year than even last year. And at the end of last year, we ask all of our traders to create trading goals for the following year. And Shark, in his trading goals, wrote, bigger picture, I'm also thinking about making the incremental steps to be a $10 million a year trader. So he's had fabulous success, and he is continuing to reach for the stars. And he's not just reaching for the stars. He is accepting that he needs to take incremental steps to go from where he's at to be able to make $10 million a year. Okay, and when he wrote this, he wasn't yet 30. One of the things I love to hear about him, say on the desk is, oh, this trade's going to add another $50,000 to my P&L this year. And he'll play around with the technology. If I just learn this setup, that's an extra $100,000 in P&L I can make for the year. If I do that, I can add another $150,000 to my P&L for the year. He's trying to get better. Not necessarily, well, wasn't a Division I athlete. Very good athlete, though. Didn't go to an Ivy League school, though. Hard to find somebody who can process information as broadly as he can. We actually had a recruit in today from Princeton who was just obviously so bright, and bright in a different way. You could see he processed information very quickly. And I was talking about Shark, and you could see his eyes light up when I started to talk about his extraordinary talent of he can trade 30 stocks at the same time and trade them well. He can just process all of this information into marketplace at the same time, parallel thinking that other people just can't do. And that's another, and so, sometimes people are wondering, hey, why am I not getting better? And you have to work on your ability to process information. You have to broaden that ability to process information if you want to add to your playbook. In talking with Dr. Steenbarger about Shark, he points out that ability to process large amounts of information and that being an undervalued reason for underperformance, if not failure. And we talked about this with Prawn today about Shark, Seth, and I'll make this point again to the people that are listening. Sorry, Prawn, if you're listening, but I'll say it again, which is, so Shark is a team. And so the way it works at our desk is you become a senior trader, and junior traders go through our training program and then interview to join teams. And these are some of the guys on Team Shark. All of the guys who are on Team Shark presently, they're all profitable, which is remarkable. They get access to all of his trades in real time. They get access to learning his trading strategies, which obviously have edge. And these traders pretty much all trade the same names that he does on the days that he's trading them. And they pretty much all trade them in the same direction that he's trading them. But they all trade differently. They all trade differently. They all have a separate playbook for the same opportunities. They all have different cognitive and personality strengths that they're dipping into. When they do their report card, they're all working on making sure that they're taking the trades that match their cognitive and personality strengths. When they do their daily report card, they're not asking themselves whether they traded like Shark. They're asking themselves, did they trade as best as they could? Are they trading in their trading zone, which is defined uniquely? And so a couple of resources from Shark. Mindset is a great book by Carol Dweck. You will love it. And one of the indicators that not enough short-term traders use that has a lot of edge is two-day VWAP. Where is the stock in relation to the two-day VWAP? Is it above it or below it? And being in confluence with the two-day VWAP. All right, happy to answer a couple more questions. And I know we've spent a lot of time right here, which, hey, it's not like anybody's on summer vacation.
All right, well, Mike.
Sound like the weather's nice outside.
Right, John's asking, I'm based in Europe. Do you have any events or networking activities in Europe, or are you planning to do so?
I do not presently, but but I'll talk to my wife and get back to you.
All All right, Sam Awad is saying to John, who asked the question earlier, absolutely take DNA. It's the holy grail of trading education. That was not a paid-for advertisement, by the way. That was a legitimate comment. Maury asks, hello guys, how long has Swine been trading before he became a black shirt?
He has been with us for 8 years, and he earned his black shirt in his 7th year. And prior to that, he had earned a green shirt.
Okay, Bob, how do you keep a trader from getting cocky instead of confident when they're doing great? Interesting question.
Really interesting question. Something actually we work on with Shark. It's not cockiness, it's overconfidence. Very common for traders to suffer from overconfidence after they've traded well. Very important for elite traders to really watch that their overconfidence after really strong streaks doesn't infect their trading next. And so lots of techniques to deal with this. One of the techniques that people deal with as intraday equity traders is they check themselves every 30 minutes as to whether or not they should be in the trade that they're in, and whether or not they are too confident in their setup or thinking about why the trade can work and why the trade might not work. And spending lots of time doubling down on getting their routine done before the open and during the day, so that, again, they're trading in their optimal state. Lots of times, overconfidence matches less preparation time. Lots of time, overconfidence matches less sleep the night before, because I'm the man and I make money and I'm slaying this market and I can stay up a little bit late and watch this gladiator for the 15th time. And I can have the 6th drink with my significant other instead of getting to bed early. And that is 100% something that I work with all of the 7-figure traders inside and outside of the firm that I work with. Great question.
What burnout preventive practices do your traders or your firm have access to?
What burnout? This is a question about burnout.
Correct.
Yep. So Dr. Steenbarger recently wrote a Forbes article, and maybe somebody will go and find it, about time management. And it talks about the power and importance of recharging, and how oftentimes you'll find really successful people and wonder at how they can get so much done. And, why can't I be like that person? And what those people are doing is they're spending time doing things that they really love, and they understand what they really like to do, and they're avoiding things they don't like to do. And they're finding time to do the things that help them recharge so that they can come back and really tackle things that are doing well. But again, they're mostly spending the day doing things that really speak to them. They're doing things that they have talent for. They're doing things that they innately enjoy. For instance, one of the things that I marvel about, this is a dad bragging about his son. And Seth, I think you've heard me brag about this, but there's something I really brag about my son about. Mm-hmm. And my son, Luke, is the greatest 5-year-old Lego preparer, finisher in the history of 5-year-olds. I mean, he is just off the charts. He will sit. We go and buy Legos whenever he asks, because he will go and open up a box of Legos, and he will sit for 90 minutes. He's 5 years old. He will sit for 90 minutes, 2 hours at a stretch, from beginning to end, and, finish advanced for his age Lego arrangements. And
Wow.
there's just something about the way his brain is wired that he loves to put things together. He loves to put things together. And so he could do 2 hours of Legos. We could go to the park. He could come back. He could do 2 hours of Legos again. It's not work for him. Whereas I'm looking at him like, Luke, please don't ask me to help you with the Legos, because I want to read something online. I will go help him, of course. I like to think of myself as a good dad. But I don't want to do the Legos. I want to read online, a particular article that I feel it feeds my brain. I like to build things. I like the idea of building things out. That interests me. So I would suggest to you that you think about the things you really love and do more of them and spend more time doing them.
Why don't we take 2 more questions, Mike? Kyle asked a really interesting question. Do you still believe the tape reading in the algo era has a real edge, or is it just the placebo effect to confirm your judgment?
Yeah, so I think we must have skipped this one, or maybe we didn't, and I just don't remember it. But I can tell you to a person, and I think maybe I did skip it. Let me go over it. What I'm recognizing with the elite traders that I'm working with, international, US, lots of different products, but mostly equity traders, but some futures traders as well, is that, and some options traders as well. Although I think that type of options trading you guys do, Seth, it's a little bit different. But what I'm seeing to a person, to a trader, is that when these guys are trading their best, they're seeing it. They're seeing it. They're seeing it. And by that, I mean there's confirmation on the tape that their thesis is correct. And so when you say to me, is tape reading important in this age of HFTs? My answer to you is, it is to the really big traders that I'm working with. When they're trading at their best, they're not just trading a thesis. They're not just trading a technical pattern. They're not just trading even a setup. They're seeing it. They're seeing that confirmation on the tape. And when they are patient enough to develop a thesis, to trade a setup in their playbook, to see the confirmation on the tape, to fight for price, that's when they're trading their best.
Here's one more. I think we'll wrap up. John asks, considering Shark one of your best traders, as you mentioned, just wondering how many trading ideas he's able to have on average per day. It depends a lot on the market conditions, stocks at play, existing positions, etc. But just wondering what can be considered a good, relevant generation of ideas to trade.
He can trade 30 short-term ideas at the same time. That's you can be a great day trader and trade one stock a day. So, and we actually, one of our traders who it could be pretty promising at our desk, I recognize can probably only trade one trade at the same time. Can't really trade more than that. And he's going to have to trade bigger in those setups, but he's also going to have to watch out for forcing trading too big. But I recognize that while Shark and this one trader trade the same types of stocks, he needs to go about trading differently because he doesn't have that ability to watch so many things at the same time. And some guys just aren't comfortable watching that many things at the same time as well. And that's why I talk about cognitive strengths and personality strengths. Some people they need to be more secure with their ideas. They need to be more comfortable with their trades. And some people don't. Some people do their best when they feel like the top's down, they're driving too fast, the wind's blowing a little bit too hard, and they're going around a curve that they're probably going to be able to handle, and that's them at their best.
Very good. You know, John, I'm going to give you my email address in a minute. He's asking about trading options. Why don't you send me an email asking the same question, and I will be happy to answer it. It deserves a good, solid answer, and just don't want to hold everybody up on a beautiful summer day.
Seth, I hate to interrupt here, but I'm going to push off a little bit. I need to go see my kids. I didn't realize what time it was. I appreciate everybody coming. I'll let you wrap up. And if anybody needs to reach out to me, they're welcome to shoot me an email, which is, I'll leave up and you can close it down. All right. Thanks, Seth. Thanks for the invite. Thanks, everyone.